Oh my goodness, this is going to be painful. The Bad Batch Season 3 needs to resolve an unfinished arc from Season 2. We're just a few months away from the third and final season, which was confirmed to be in 2024. We do expect an extremely emotional ending, but not just for the clones, but maybe also our favourite Wookiee Jedi. What's going to happen to him next, given what we know is just down the road in the timeline? The Imperial occupation of Kashyyyk. In the brand new visual guide, Secrets of the Wookiees, which I do recommend, they summarise Gungi's appearances in the Clone Wars series and the Bad Batch Season 2, concluding the paragraph by saying, quote, "He joined a tribe led by the Wookiee named Yana," which we did see in Season 2, and the book implies this is where Gungi stayed. But given the upcoming Imperial occupation that's about to take place on Kashyyyk, where does he go? Does he die fighting the Empire? Is he sent to Kessel as a slave? Or is he going to somehow escape? He is not on Kashyyyk during the Imperial invasion in Jedi Fallen Order. There is a good chance he's on a different part of the world, just hiding out. Kashyyyk is enormous, but there is a chance he's dead. I hope he's just laying low. Or perhaps in Season 3, are Clone Force 99 gonna come and save him and relocate him? When they discover Mount Tantis, are they going to go to Kashyyyk to hire and recruit Gungi to help with the rescue of Omega and Crosshair near the end of the season? If they're going to infiltrate an entire Imperial cloning facility, having the aid of a strong Wookiee who has the Force and ability to wield a lightsaber is gonna come in handy. I do believe we're in for a lot of tragedy in Season 3, and even if Gungi does make it, a lot of Wookiees were not that lucky. Most of Kashyyyk's population was herded into work camps and overseen by cruel Imperial wardens, while others were sold as work slaves in the spice mines of Kessel. And Kashyyyk remained under Imperial control for several months after Episode 6, until Han Solo and Chewbacca led a group of rebels to free the planet. But if we do see Kashyyyk in the third season once again, would they really kill off Gungi? The new book, Secrets of the Wookiees, is told from the perspective of C-3PO, and there's an interesting paragraph which confirms Luke Skywalker knew of the young Jedi Wookiee's existence. However, the wording makes it sound like he's dead by the time of the New Republic, which is pretty strange, considering Wookiees live up to 400 standard years. 3PO says this: "Information downloaded from a Jedi holocron recovered by my master Luke Skywalker tells the tale of a youngling named Gungi. I guess a massive worry for Gungi now is the fact the Empire knows where he is. Are we gonna see him fall victim to an Inquisitor? He probably won't stand a chance if the Empire does decide to send one of their finest Jedi hunters. Gungi might be one of their first hunts, given when the Bad Batch Season 3 takes place and the dire stakes with Omega, Crosshair, other clones, but also the likes of Gungi and other surviving Jedi. The final season of the show could demonstrate to us one of the darkest chapters in all of Star Wars. But Gungi is so lovable, I don't think anyone wants to see him get harmed, so I'm hoping either he's saved, is rescued, and avoids certain death at the hands of a former Jedi turned Inquisitor." And on the subject of Secrets of the Wookiees, they talk about the nature of Wookiee Jedi on the whole, saying this: "Wookiees are not commonly strong in their connection to the Force. However, Chewbacca tells me that a select few members of his species have harnessed its great power to become members of the Jedi Order." C-3PO says, "Although it should be obvious by now that no Wookiee requires a lightsaber to be an effective combatant, those who have carried one are a rare breed, that they are worthy of mention." And they talk about Gungi, but they also reference two High Republic Jedi, one called Arkoff and the other Buryaga. And even though they don't mention him in this book, there is another, Kalnaka, who's going to appear in The Acolyte, played by Yuna Suotomo. And by the looks of things timeline-wise, Gungi might be one of the last surviving Wookiee Jedi. If there's anything the new guide teaches us, it's the nature of the tragedy of the invasion of Kashyyyk. It wasn't just lives that were lost, but it was also their traditions, their history. Wookiees are deeply spiritual beings, which I thought Season 2 tackled in a really great way, whether it's their connection to their trees, their reverence for life and nature, or their ancient traditions. Wookiees had their rich culture taken away from them. That's why their liberation after Return of the Jedi meant so much. And when we're talking about Wookiees, the reason 3PO says even the Force-sensitive ones didn't necessarily need a lightsaber even though they had one is down to their strength. Here is an insightful section about combat. Let the Wookiee win. This is a simple tactical decision that I added to my programming code years ago. whether on the front lines of a battle or in the fighting pits of an unseemly spaceport. It is rare that Wookiees find themselves on the losing side of a close-quarters combat scenario. Once you're caught in a Wookiee's grip, I fear there is little hope of escape, at least in One Piece. I will admit, when Captain Solo first warned me that an angry Wookiee was likely to, quote, pull people's arms out of their sockets, I assumed it was merely more hyperbole from a space pirate prone to wild exaggeration. But after witnessing Chewbacca effortlessly removing the limbs of an uncooperative droid on Nar Shaddaa early in our travels together, I realised the warning was quite literal, and we also see this in the Book of Boba Fett with Chrysanthemum. Should sheer force alone not prove enough to subdue a foe, Wookiees will occasionally resort to biting their enemies with sharp teeth. Chewbacca insists that this is not out of a desire to devour the tissue of other sentient beings, but rather as a means of causing enough pain to distract and disorient the rival, allowing the Wookiee to regain the upper hand. They had enormous and immense strength, and Gungi is just a child, one who has great Jedi skills, but incomplete training. Imagine his full potential if he survives and grows up, and is maybe trained by another Jedi survivor. I'm rooting for him, but his strength will come in handy if Clone Force 99 return and he is recruited by our favourite batch. And if Gungi is part of the mission to rescue Omega, there is a certain poetry to both Fetts having a Wookiee on their side, Boba Fett with Chrysanthemum and Omega with Gungi. So finally for Gungi they say this: in the days of the Clone Wars, another Wookiee Padawan was viewed as one of the most promising members of his class of Jedi trainees. Master Yoda escorted Gungi, along with his fellow Padawans, to the planet of Ilum to select the Kyber crystals that would power their lightsabers. Gungi's weapon spoke to his Wookiee nature, with a handcrafted hilt that incorporated the strong wood of the Brylark tree. According to Chewbacca, who was well aware of him, Gungi was one of the few of his order to escape the Great Jedi Purge, but his story has not been completed. So I'm curious to see how they're going to handle this in the 3rd season. What do you guys think? What do you think his fate is going to be? We should be quite close to a trailer for the 3rd season. It is confirmed to be one of 2 animated Star Wars shows in 2024, the other being Tales of the Jedi Season 2. So hopefully we do get official updates in the next couple of months, maybe sooner, who knows? Share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. Please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.